Hi, I'm Johnny from Cinema 5D and this is the new Olympus OM-D E-M1X. More about the video capabilities of this new camera in a second. Okay guys, sorry about the face for radio, sorry about the voice of a frustrated DJ, sorry about the room, traveling on the road, a bit sick, but this review must be completed. It's all about the video capabilities of this new Olympus. So this is a 4K camera, up to 30 frames per second, in full HD up to 120 frames per second, but I would definitely recommend to consider first look at the image and then see if you like it. It will also crop quite heavily when you shoot in full HD in 120 frames per second. This camera is robust, it's weatherproof, shockproof, freeze-proof, but other than that, you'll immediately be recognized as a pro. I don't know if you saw some of the leaked photos. It looked rather small, but in reality, it's not. And the reason it's bigger, it's because of the battery grip. Olympus added this grip, and the camera will come supplied with 2 batteries. The good thing about it, when you want to charge the camera, those batteries will charge simultaneously and not one after another. Now the question is, were Olympus trying to think about us, the filmmakers, when they were actually designing this camera? My answer is yes and no. Yes, because they were trying to improve the in-body stabilization system. They were trying to improve the autofocus system. They added a locked picture profile just to have a greater latitude when shooting the video. They improved the audio circuitry of this camera. Now you can get high-res audio up to 96 kilohertz. And small things, you know, for example, the way the record button is right now here, it's not comfortable for me. It's not here or where I want it to be. But the nice thing, you can really reroute the record button to the shutter release one. So this is a small thing, but it means that the manufacturer were actually thinking how to make our life a bit easier. Maybe they thought about us, but not all the way. It's 2019 and this is an 8-bit camera. Not only that it's shooting 8-bit internally, it will also output 8-bit, meaning if you connect this camera to an external recorder, 8-bit. It's 2019 Olympus. Why? Now, when it comes to the IBIS, unfortunately, it's not working the way I expected it to work. When you work with a wide-angle lens, let's say 12mm, the image is completely wobbly on both sides. That's a big obstacle, yeah. The second thing is the autofocus. The autofocus is improved, it's working well, but it's working well within a certain tolerance. If the image is too contrastic or like too high contrast or low contrast, then the autofocus will not work well. When it comes to the new Olympus log file or flat file, this is also a bit problematic. We tried to test this file, we tried to measure the dynamic range of this camera, and we came up to the conclusion something is off or wrong with this file. Instead of a smooth curve, the curve goes halfway and then a bit up again and then down. So something is obviously wrong. how is the low light capability of the camera? Well, Olympus never claimed that this is a low light monster, and as such, I think it's kind of safe to say that up to 3200 ISO you can work with the camera. Above this, the picture gets rather noisy. When it comes to rolling shutter performance, I haven't tested in a scientific way, but it looks good, and it looks as good as the OM-D E-M1X. The reason is because the sensor is the same and the processor is the same. The only difference is that in this new camera there are two processors instead of one in the previous model. And now to the sore thing, the price of this camera. This is almost a 3,000 euros camera. For video, the competition will be very tough on it. There are other options in the market with larger sensors, with better video capabilities. I hope that from the photo perspective, this camera gives so much that it's really worth for photographers to buy it. From the video perspective, I think it will have a very hard time to compete. So in conclusion, it's a nice camera and it will take nice videos, but it's only 8-bit internally and externally. There is no 60p. There is 4K DCI, but only in 24p. The in-body stabilization system is working okay, but not as smooth as I would expect it to be. The autofocus is fine most of the time, but then suddenly it got its own mind. Yeah, so definitely try before you buy if you can, and if this is the camera for you, please share with us your thoughts. It's always interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys.